Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be looking at a text which is particularly interesting. It is taken from the NCERT supplementary book of class 8. The title of the text is Children at Work. Now it is authored by three writers. We have Geeta Wolf, we have Urjit Sen, and we have Anushka Ravishankar. The three of them co-authored a text called Trash on Rag Picker Children and Recycling. Now, it is a story about a young boy of 11 years old named Velu who ran away from home and ended up being a rag picker in the city of Chennai. It talks about the various struggles that a child has to face, the consequences of child labor, the consequences of losing the child rights. It also talks about lifestyles in a city, in a metropolitan city. It also talks about waste. It talks about recycling. Now, let us start with the chapter. When the Kanyakumari Express pulled in at Chennai Central, it took Velu some time to get off. When he finally stood on the platform, his legs felt wobbly as if he was still on a moving train. Oi! Out of the way! A porter went by with a loaded trolley. Velu jumped aside. Now, in case you have never been to the Chennai Central, this is a picture of Chennai Central. It's a very big platform. It's a very big, not a platform. It's a very big station. So obviously, as we know in India, a big station means a lot of crowd, a lot of people. There's a lot of bustling everywhere. And our young boy, our young main character, Velu, finally reached Chennai and he got off the train, which is Kanyakumari Express. But he felt quite wobbly. Now, the meaning of wobbly is unsteady. So he got off the train, but due to his long journey, his legs felt very unsteady. His legs felt a bit wobbly. And being a busy station, he did not know where to go. And suddenly there was a porter who screamed at him to get out of the way. He sat on a bench on the platform, putting his small bundle down. In all of his 11 years, he had never seen so many people, except once a year at the fair in his village. People walked by, bumping into him with their suitcases. A voice announced something on a loudspeaker. Near him, a group of people sat on their luggage looking at a TV hanging from the roof. The noise was terrible. As we have already seen, or especially if we have been to a big station in a junction specifically, that it's very crowded, it's very chaotic, and there's a lot of noises, there's a lot of people, there are a lot of shops and announcements, and there are TVs that are, or screens that are displaying the train timings. There are announcements announcing the departure or arrival of trains. So there's a lot of chaos happening in the platform. Velu put his head down on his knees, feeling miserable and exhausted. He had run away from his village 2 days ago. For 2 days, he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. In his bundle, he carried a shirt, a towel, and a comb. So, as we see that he had been traveling for a long time, he had run away from home, and he obviously, while running away from home, he's an 11-year-old boy. He did not think about having some money or bringing some money with him. So, he had nothing to eat. The only thing he had to eat was some peanuts and a bit of jaggery. Now, obviously, being not having any food, not having any money, being in a new place, and after having such a long journey, he was miserable and exhausted. Now, what does miserable mean? Miserable means being unhappy. And what does exhausted mean? Exhausted means to be very tired. As we have talked about, he had a very long journey and he had nothing to eat, so he was very tired. He had walked for most of the first day to Kannauр and then got on the train to Chennai. Velu had no money for a ticket, but luckily the ticket collector didn't come to the unreserved compartment. He had tried to sleep on the floor near the door. A group of men next to him had played cards and shouted all night. So, even his journey was not a good one. It was a long journey. He had to walk from his village to Kannauр, and from Kannaur he got a train to Chennai. So it was quite a long journey, and being a young boy, it was quite a long and very tiring journey for him. And as we talked about, while leaving home, while running away from home, he did not bring any money. He did not have any money to bring. So he could not even buy a ticket. So he had to get on the train without a ticket. But fortunately, the conductor, the ticket conductor or the ticket checker or the ticket collector did not come to his compartment to check his ticket. So fortunately, he was saved. Oi, what? New to town, eh? Called out a rough voice. Velu opened his eyes. There were a lot of people standing around, but nobody was looking at him. Here, oi! He turned around. Behind him was a girl around his age, wearing a long banyan that came down to her knees. Her hair was stiff and brownish, and she had a huge sack on one shoulder. She was picking up dirty plastic cups from the floor and stuffing them into her sack. Why is she calling me? Thought Velu. And why is a girl wearing banyan? Now, what is a banyan? A banyan is this. This is usually called an undershirt or a vest, which is worn by men. So, of course, initially, when somebody called out, when he heard that somebody was talking to him, or at least he thought somebody was talking to him, he looked around and saw there was nobody, or at least there was nobody looking at him. But then finally, he turned around and saw there was a girl wearing a banyan. So there was a girl, little girl, wearing a banyan. And she was talking to him. She was calling to him. So she got a bit, he got a bit surprised. Why is the girl talking to me? And secondly, why is a girl wearing a banyan? No need to stare stupidly. What's your name? Velu, muttered Velu, looking away. So, Mr. Velu, said the girl, looking at his bundle, run away from home? So, the girl tells him that, why are you looking at me like this? Do not stare. And then proceeded to ask him his name. Velu muttered his name. Now, what does muttered mean? It means to say something in a very low voice. As we saw that he was quite shy. He did not realize that the girl was talking to him. And then when he saw the girl, she was wearing a banyan and then shouting at him and then asking his name. So he didn't really want to reply. So he answered back his name in a very low voice. And she asked him, looking at him, after looking at him, she asked him that, are you running away from home? Velu didn't answer. He didn't want to tell some strange girl what he had done. He had run away because he couldn't stand his father beating him for one more day. His father would snatch away all the money Velu and his sisters earned and spend it on a drink. So, as we see that it's a strange girl who is asking him so many questions. And Velu didn't want to answer. Why would he answer to a strange girl? Why would he talk to a stranger and tell her everything about himself? And he didn't want to tell her about why he had run away. He didn't want to tell her about the sorrows that he had faced or the struggles that he faced. That his father used to beat him and take away all the money he had, all the money that he and his sisters earned. He didn't want to inform them that his father spent all the money that he took from them and drank away all that money. Don't think I don't know. This place is full of children like you. So, what are you going to do here? Become rich? So, the girl essentially questions him that, what do you think you're doing? I have seen many children like this. So, what do you think you're doing here? Are you trying to become rich here? So, that would be all for today. We are going to be ending our lesson here. Thank you.